Okay, so here's an additional worksheet on 2.6. So what you need to remember about this is, like on the other form case we've done, you're supposed to do all of them, and the video only has some. So I give you a few hints, but you need to do the whole thing. All right? Okay, so for number 1, it says find the value of each variable, and then it says to start, identify the relationship between the marked angles in the diagram. The marked angles are vertical angles. Vertical angles. And you could put VA instead if you want to. Vertical angles. Then write an equation to express this relationship. So it'd be this one equals this one. 68 minus x equal 3x. So far there's 2 answers on that one. It also wants you to find the value of the variable, and so we have to solve this. So we add x to both sides using the addition property, and so we get 68 equal 4x, and then we divide by 4, so x is equal to 17. Is it 16 or 17? 68 divided by 4. Yeah, it's 17. Good try. The other thing about number 1 is if I skip just a little bit down, find the measures of the labeled answers or labeled angles in each exercise. We're just going to go ahead and put those answers up here. So for example, 17 times 3 is 51, and you could do 68 minus 17 also and get 51. So 51 are going to be the vertical angles, bless you, and then for the others, how do we get them? There's no expression. How do you get those angles? Subtract from 180. Very good. So 180 minus 51. Sounds right. Yeah, 129. So these are 129s. So basically, as we talked about before in some proofs, these add up to 180. These add up to 180, these add up to 180, and these add up to 180. And you have your 2 sets of vertical angles. Here's one set, and here's your other set. Okay? Okay, now the difference between number 2 and the others is you have a couple of different equations you could write. One equation would be this one plus this one equals 180. Another equation you could write would be this one plus this one equals 180. But the simpler way, and the only way you can get started on it, is to actually set those equal. So, because these are vertical angles. So we're going to have 10x minus 18 equal 8x plus 14. And so then that's just showing you your vertical angles are equal. And then what I usually do is I keep my larger coefficient, like my 10x, where it is, and subtract 8x. So I have 2x minus 18 equal 14. And then eventually you get 32, and x is 16. So x equals 16. Then you have your choice of plugging in the 16 into this one or this one. I would, in general, plug it into the one with the plus sign because it's just easier. 8 times 16 plus 14, and that gives you 142. If we did the same thing to the other one, it would have worked. 10 times 16 and then minus 18 That's also 142. The easy way to get y is to not even use the other equations that I was drawing, like this equation or this equation. The easiest one in this case is just do 180 minus 142. And so that's 38 for y. So that's 38, and so is this. Any questions? Okay, same idea on this one. This is number 3. You have these you have to set equal because they're vertical angles. You have 3x plus 10 equal 4x minus 40. So you subtract 3x and add 40, so you get 50 for x. And if x is 50, then plug it in and say 3 times 50 is 150 plus 10 is 160, which makes y 20. So you've got 160 for these and 20 for those. Yeah, 160 for the obtuse angles and 20 for the acute ones. Okay, the next part says developing the proof. Complete the following proof by filling in the blanks. They have 1 and 2 is equal from given, and you want to prove 3 and 4 are equal. So here's all your steps, and you have to basically give all your reasons. So the first one's given. The next one is if you are doing 1, 3, and 5, adding them up to 180, you're using your angle addition postulate. Angle addition postulate. You remember, usually your second step is either a definition, a postulate, or a theorem. So in this case, we're adding angles, and so in this case, it's angle addition postulate. The next one says angle 1 plus angle 3 plus 90 equal 180. So basically, they're just changing the 5 to a 90. So that one, it's substitution. Since angle 5 equal 90 degrees. But you could just put substitution. If it has the little box, you know that would be 90 degrees. Now, how do we go from 3 to 4? We have 180, then we have 90. Did we divide by 2, or did we subtract? Yeah, because if this is plus 90, we would subtract 90 to both. So this is subtraction. Very good. And then it says 4 and 2 are the same as 5. So these combined are the same size, and so that's going to be vertical angles, or you could put VA. And here it says 4 plus 2 is 90, and again, that's substitution because angle 5 is 90. Yeah. Then here they have 4 and 1 adds up to 90. Okay, I see. So basically they're using the given statement and they're just changing this to this. So that's going to be substitution. It's using statement 1. So basically using your given statement, and you change angle 2 to angle 1. Okay, and then your last one, you've got angle 4 congruent to angle 3, which is the same as 3 congruent to 4, basically. And you notice 1 and 3 add up to 90. And you notice 4 and 1 add up to 90. And so think about your 1's canceling, so then you have 3 and 4. So this is your congruent complements. Congruent complements theorem. And this is using 4 and 7. If you want to put that extra part, you can for understanding. But it's basically, these were both equal to 90, and so you know it's complements, not supplements. And then the 1's cancel, so you have your 3 and 4. Any questions? Okay, number 8. This one we want to draw a picture. It says angle A and B are adjacent complementary angles. So there's a picture of that. C is supplementary to that angle. So that means all of them add up to 180. What can you conclude about angle C? So C is going to be a right angle. I guess I should put the little C right there. Here's point A, B, and then C. Okay. C is a right angle. And then just remember that complementary adds up to 90, supplementary adds up to 180. You know, the best place to put the C would have been right there. I'm going to cross out these other two. My bad. So A is going to be the one in between, B is going to be this one in between, and then C is going to be that one. And so you know if these add up to 90, then C is also 90. Any questions? Okay. Then this one's about developing a proof. Fill in the blanks. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 4 because they're given. Angle 1 is equal to angle 2 because of what? What theorem was that again? The vertical angle theorem. Vertical angle theorem, because they have like straight lines and it makes an X. And then 2 and 4 are congruent by what? Okay, so if we have 1 congruent to 4 and 1 congruent to 2, think of that the 1's canceling, so that'd be your transitive. So this is transitive property of congruence. Because you have a little congruent symbol right there. That's how we know it's not the transitive of equality. And then 3 and 4 are equal because of the vertical angle theorem also. And then it follows that blank is congruent to blank by the blank. So what are we trying to prove again? This part. So it follows that angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. And that'd be by transitive. Property of congruence. Okay, so there's a hint for a lot of them. up to this point. Now remember, on this one you need two pairs of angles, and so basically be specific for 12, but you're going to have two obtuse answers and two acute answers. Okay. So basically your two obtuse answers are going to be WQZ congruent to, I'm saying WQZ, then I'm going to say XQY. So those are the obtuse answers, and now you need to do the acute answers. WQY congruent to XQZ. So that's what we wanted for that problem. Don't forget to do number 10 and 11 and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So there's a couple of hints on that worksheet. And that's going to be due Thursday in this case, because today's Tuesday.